story representation seems very good. So it's all about the actor, beliefs, desires, and what happens when the actor is wrong. So I'll give you a practical example. The story I see all the time. And the first year computer science, who desires, believes they desire, computer science, but they don't. And they'll find out in the second year that, oh, that was a mistake.
Yes. So, sorry if I repeat that. Your question is about when actors are wrong about their beliefs and desires? Yes.
You have time here, so I understand that you're saying at a particular moment in time, a person believes they desire something, they do desire it. So how does that take into account how that can be wrong?
So I think that's kind of one of the main points of story, where, or at least interesting stories, where actors have beliefs or desires or beliefs about the desires that they later discover were wrong or along. And I think that's really one of the big things that Impulse adds to existing story representations, because now you can actually say they had this desire for some time, where previously basically you could say they had this desire before they had this other desire, but there was no real timing information.
So truth in your world is really what I think as an actor. Truth
still exists in an objective sense, but you can have your own truth, which may be wrong compared to the objective truth in the story. And yeah, so that's kind of one of the interesting things. If you look at a crime movie, like an inspector tries to find a murderer, they are usually wrong about their beliefs about the world. And that's the whole point of the story. And the whole point discourse generator has to make is how do I convey to the audience that the inspector thinks person A is the murderer, and he really is committed to, maybe we should not use committed because that term is overloaded here, but he really thinks that person A is the murderer, and in reality it was person B, and maybe even person A is even arrested at some point. And the discourse generator has to basically convey to the audience that the actor inside the story has some wrong belief. And to do that reasoning, the discourse generator needs to contrast between what's actually true in the world and what the different actors believe in the world. Does that kind of answer your question?
It certainly gets at the particular story flow element that I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And so you say your language is part design and actual.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
So in modal logics of belief, there's often accusations that mandate belief is always you believe something that's true. Right?
Yeah, I don't have that.
You don't have that.
Yeah.
So if you had the addition of belief 5 plus 5.
That's actually one of the things I specifically do not want here, because in a story that's not, well, that does not make for interesting stories. Or on the other side, if you have a story, or in most stories, some actor has a belief that's not true. Okay, so we already, basically you can write anything in predicate logic using these modal operators and intervals, and it would be an impulse sentence, which is kind of a lot. So I specifically mentioned two types of sentences that will be used a lot. One of them is facts, which are just sentences without any connectives. So two people are allies over some interval, and there could be quantifiers in there, but in this case they're not. And the second type of sentence that occurs frequently are rules, which is a singular implication with only conjunctions in both the antecedent and the consequent. So, for example, the open door action we saw previously only has conjunctions in the antecedent, and, well, there's no conjunction in the consequent, but there could be multiple things that happen. And because these rules occur so frequently, there's a special notation for them. Basically, we put a horizontal line, put the antecedent above the line with comma separated, and the consequent below the line. And we also, since most of the values will be universally quantified, we just omit the for quantifier on those. Yes. So there are no ors or implications or any binary operators, but negation is allowed. Finally, if we want to define an impulse story, what we need is a time basis T, which is just some set of intervals that we can relate with Allen's interval algebra, an object hierarchy where O is the set of all objects and subsets defined as described before. The same for actions, action hierarchy. We have a set of all actions, which is called actions, and subsets thereof. A set of action properties P, which is a set of functions that map from some subset of the actions to either an object or a time interval. A set of actions sigma, which are the actions that actually occur in the story. So occurs of S is true if S is in sigma. And a set of impulse sentences psi, which can be additional information about the story, in particular things that are true at any point in time, or things or rules about how actions operate. And to show how this is used to encode a story, I will show a short clip from the movie Lord of the Rings. It's here.
It is a man. It is bizarre. Men. Men are weak. The race of men is failing. The blood of Numenor is all but spent. Its pride and dignity forgotten. It is because of men the ring survives. I was there. I was there 3,000 years ago. I was there the day the strength of men failed. Silver, hurry! I led Isildur into the heart of Mount Doom, where the ring was forged, the one place it could be destroyed. Cast it into the fire! Destroy it! Should have ended that day. Evil was allowed to endure. Isildur kept the ring. The line of kings is broken. There's no strength left in the world of men. The scattered, divided, pitiless.
So what we saw here, for those not familiar with the movie, the guy who held the monologue is the elf Elrond, who believes that men are weak because he witnessed an event like 3,000 years ago when the king of men at the time, Isildur, found a magical ring, and Elrond suggested that it should be destroyed because it is evil. But the ring influenced Isildur's mind and basically told him not to destroy it, and therefore Isildur did not destroy it in the end. And there's only one place in the world where the ring can be destroyed, which is where the event, which is like where this dramatic scene happened. So Isildur, the king of men, gets the ring. So these are the events that happen like 3,000 years ago that Elrond tells us about. His wise ally Elrond takes him to Mount Doom, which is the only place where the ring can be destroyed, and tells him to destroy it. Isildur is under the influence of the ring, so he cannot destroy it because the ring has too much influence over him. And then Elrond believes that all men are weak because their king is weak. So in the movie, as we saw, Elrond talks about this in a flashback. So if we had this story and we wanted to generate a movie out of it, how would the discourse generator decide which events to show to convey the information that Elrond believes that all men are weak? Well, we can do that with impulse. First, we define action types that occur in the story. So this is obviously a great simplification of the actual story, because there are way too many things that would be going on to model it in detail in the time we have. Basically, we have a move action, we have an action that says an actor gets the ring, we have an action that says an actor can throw the ring into the fire and destroy it. And we have an action that is tell, which means one actor tells another to destroy the ring. We have object types, L the set of locations, and A the set of actors. Then we have a set of men, a set of humanoids, which I will come to in a minute, and a set of items. So the set of locations is Gorgoroth, which is where the battle happens, Mount Doom is where the ring can be destroyed, and Minas Arno is just where Isildur goes after he leaves. Then we have actors. Note that the ring is an actor, because in this story, the ring can have desires and intentions of its own, but it cannot perform many actions. So we need it to be an actor, but we need some other set that says these are characters that can actually perform actions, which is where the humanoids set comes in later. But for now we have the ring, we have Elrond, Gandalf is the old wizard that he talked to, Isildur, and some other characters that are not important here. We have the men, which is the race of men, the humans basically in the story. We have humanoids, so Elrond is an elf, he's not human, but he still can perform actions like move. Gandalf, Isildur, and so on. And we have the only item is the ring. So actions that occur, basically the same sequence of actions that happened, as I described before, as impulse objects. As one, the first action that happens is Isildur gets the ring. Then Isildur moves to Mount Doom, and Elrond also moves to Mount Doom. And those two actions will happen at the same time, which we can express. Then Elrond tells Isildur to destroy the ring. And finally, Isildur moves away from Mount Doom. And there would be, for all of these action types that we would have to have action definitions. I will just show the move action here, which is basically for all move actions, if it occurs and the actor is at the from location over the time period for the precondition, and the actor is a humanoid, then the actor is at the to location afterwards and no longer at where they came from, basically. So from and to are locations, actor is a humanoid, and time pre-F. The time the action occurs over is the time the precondition, and the effects are true over some intervals as well. So if we look at the move action S2, which is Isildur going to Mount Doom, so he goes from Gorgoroth to Mount Doom, over the time that starts at 2 and ends at time 3, so this notation means an interval that starts at some time point that's written before the t and ends at the time point that's written after the t. And he was at Gorgoroth from the start of the story until he starts moving, and he is at Mount Doom from time 3, like when he moves away again, from when the move is finished until he moves away again, and he is not at Gorgoroth from the time he moved away until the end of the story. So he never comes back to Gorgoroth, which we can only express this because we know the whole story basically. But these functions that we have allow us to just say, okay, there is an interval and we call it F2 of S2 if we did not know what it was exactly. So how do we show that Elrond believes that men are weak? Well, first we show that Isildur is in some sort of internal conflict. For that we have a rule that says, if the ring desires something, whoever bears the ring desires that same thing. So the ring desires not to be destroyed, and from that we can derive Isildur, who is the ring bearer, does not desire the ring to be destroyed. So he is the ring bearer after he picks up the ring, basically. On the other hand, there is a rule that says, if you have a wise ally, and you believe that wise ally desires something, then you desire the same thing, because basically you want to help your friends. And Elrond tells Isildur that Elrond desires the ring to be destroyed. And this tell action basically has the effect that whatever Elrond says, Isildur will believe. So this is, Dr. Ely, coming back to your thing, that's basically